Okay, let's start in a comfortable seated position on our mats. Whatever that means for you. If you need to raise up your bottom by sitting on a block or a book or the edge of your mat, if your mat is rolled up, and that will ease up any tightness that you might have in your hips. If you sit crisscross and your legs end up looking like this, then you should probably sit on something to make it a little bit more comfortable. Try to lengthen your spine from the top as if there were a string pulling your head all the way up, all the way down your spine into your tailbone, which is reaching towards the ground. Think of creating space between each vertebra where you have those discs. Because as we grow, as we get older, and as we get pulled into gravity and our body weight tries to push us downward, those discs get thinner. And then we stand a little bit more chance of a possible injury. So we don't want that to happen. This is our fountain of youth right here, staying tall. Think about the back of your neck and getting that nice and spacey. Lots of distance between your earlobe and your shoulders. Just close your eyes and imagine your spine getting longer. And whenever you might be in a position to be able to practice this, whether it's driving, yes, continue to make driving your number one thought, but lengthen your spine a little bit. Or if you're watching a movie somewhere or working out, practice the way you want to look and feel. And hopefully this will become a feeling that is second nature for you. Then you give yourself lots of opportunity for taking deep breaths. And exhale out your mouth. Again, inhale. Big exhale. Stay tall. One more. Inhale. Open your mouth, big exhale. And enjoy how open and tall you might feel. And let's drop our chin down to our chest, really lengthening out the back of the neck, and head back up. And chin to the chest again. Head back up, looking straight ahead. And chin to the chest. And head back up. And now let's tilt our head to the side, ear towards the shoulder. And then lift your head back up. And let's go to the other side with an exhale. And head back up, inhale. And first side. Inhale, head back up. And exhale. Head back up to the center. One more. To one side. Lengthen out the side of your neck. Lift up. And to the other side. And head back up. And now turn your head as if you're trying to look over your shoulder. Keep your shoulders still. And back to the center. And twist to the other side. Back to the front. And take it to the first side. And front. And other side. And front. Now let's do a few circles just around to the front, not taking it to the back. And down and around. And around. If you find any sticky spots, just stay there for a moment, rocking a little bit back and forth. And last one. Head back up. And now I attended a workshop this morning where we tap areas of our body. For example, up here by our collarbone. So take your fingers and tap yourself out a little bit. And what I found after tapping, I'm not tapping heavily. I'm just tapping, tap, tap, tap. What I found was that I felt quite a bit looser and more relaxed after doing the tapping. And we did our shoulders, we did our arms, we did our legs, and it all felt really good. Okay, so just notice after tapping our chest here, how you feel throughout our practice today, and see if it helps you. And last one. And bringing those hands down. Let's take it over onto all fours into our cat and cows, placing the wrists under the ankle, or under the shoulders, and the knees under the hips. Starting in neutral, my gaze is up at kind of the front edge of my mat. Okay, here we go. And inhale, draw your tailbone towards the back of your head. And exhale, tucking your bottom under. Lift up all the way through your shoulder blades. And inhale. Exhale, tucking your bottom under. Flow along with your breathing. Inhale. Imagine you're drawing your chest forward between your arms. Exhale, tucking under, rounding the entire spine. And inhale. And exhale. If you feel that you're not really rounding the low back, you can walk your knees forward, and that will enable you to round that low back a little bit more. And exhale. Taking you back into neutral, let's bag our tail a little bit. So take your bottom over to one side and look over to that swing side. So you're going to feel a lengthening on one side of your body and a shortening on the other side. And reverse it. Take it to the first side. Second side. One more time to each side. Let your breath flow. Last one. And back to neutral. Let's take our left arm up to the ceiling. Moving up. And then thread your needle. Slide that arm under the right arm. Placing the back of your shoulder on the floor. Then slide your right hand up above your head. Walk your fingertips over to the left side. Try to look up at your ceiling under your arm. If you'd like to, straighten your right leg with the foot flexed so the toes are tucked under. Now, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift that right leg slightly off the ground. If you lift the hip too much, or if you lift the leg too much, you'll probably fall over when you collapse and come back. And bring that foot down if you brought it up. Slide it back in. Slide your hand back to your face. Lift your left arm up and bring it down to the floor. Time for the other side. Right arm coming up. Slide it through. Placing the shoulder on the floor. Slide your left hand out in front of your head. Walk your fingers to the right a little bit. Looking up at the ceiling under your left arm. Slide your left foot back behind you, flexing that ankle. And then if you choose to, lift that foot slightly off the floor. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, if you lift it a lot, you'll fall over. Guarantee it. And then bring that foot back down. If you lifted it, slide your knee back in. Slide your left hand back to your face. Lift your right arm towards the ceiling and bring your hand back. Walk your hands forward. Set your bottom down onto your heels, or as close to your heels as you can get. Reaching forward with those fingertips. Okay, so I'm reaching in opposite direction. My bottom is reaching for my heels. My forehead is on the ground.
And my arms are reaching forward as much as I can until my forearm comes off the ground. Now leave your hands there. Begin to come up and press into your first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Maybe shake your head. Yes, no. Rotating the triceps down and around, inner elbows towards the ceiling. Everybody lift up your heels nice and high. Bend your knees a lot and bring your chest towards your legs. Now press the heels back towards the ground. It's okay if they're not on the ground, mine aren't. It's okay if your knees are bent. You're gonna feel major stretch on the back side of your body. Trying to keep your weight out of the wrists. All right, and lift the heels up, bend your knees, and walk your way to the front of your mat, dropping your head into forward fold. Feet slightly apart, grab your opposite elbow for your rag doll. Kick the knees soft. Like to sway a little bit, side to side. And then switch and hold on to the elbow the other way. Then release your arms nice and heavy. Bend your knees and start to roll up, creating length in your spine. Getting taller, getting taller, getting taller, getting taller, until you're standing all the way up. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. And then roll your shoulders forward. And don't forget to breathe, breathe, breathe. And let's bring our arms straight up overhead. Reach up and let your shoulder blades come up towards your ears. Now, draw your shoulder blades back down into their pockets and feel what that feels like. And then bring your hands down to Tadasana. Let's walk our big toes to touching. Your heels can be touching as well, but they don't have to be. It just depends on you. All right, let's do a half sun salutation A. Here we go. Inhale, upward hand salute. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back and coming down and then round into it. Inhale, half fold. Keep the back of your neck long. Forward fold. Inhale to rise, lift your chest. Lift, 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 lift. And exhale, Tadasana. Again, inhale. And exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half forward fold. And exhale. Inhale to rise. And exhale, or Tadasana. Okay, so let's incorporate that Ujjayi breathing in and out through your nose. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, you should hear the ocean in your head. Inhale, half fold. In your neck. Exhale, full fold. Move the top. Inhale to rise. Exhale. And come to Tadasana. All right, sun salutation A. Here we go. Inhale. Ocean sounds inside your head. Exhale all the way over. Inhale, half forward fold. Bring your hands down. Step back. Your knees, chin, chest. And let's do it Cobra first. Exhale down. Let's do one more Cobra. Warming up that upper back. And inhale lift. Not using your hands and forearms are off the floor. Exhale back down, tucking your toes, pushing yourself into downward facing dog. Just your feet as needed. Not needed. Rotate that tricep down from your elbow coming up. And then lift the heels, bend your knees, make your way to the front of your mat into your half forward fold. And exhale, full fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, Tadasana. And inhale. Exhale through your nose. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, half. And place your hands down, knees, chin, and chest. Up dog if you care to. Make sure your thighs are off the floor. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Breathe. Remember the heels, the knees. Take your modification there, but try to bring your weight away from your wrist and knee. And then lift the heels, bend the knees, coming forward into your half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale. One more sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale. And exhale. Keeping a long spine. Inhale, half forward fold. Bend your knees, put the hands down. Knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Lifting your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. And when you're ready, lift your heels, bend your knees, step through, half, forward fold, lengthen your neck. Exhale, full fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale, down. All right, we're going to go into sun salutation B. You remember what that first pose is? Right, it's chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, so remember, let's review. Utkatasana, chair pose. You're going to be positioning your hands here or on our hips. Okay, you're going to be bending your knees, sending your bottom back, tummy is pulled in, and your tail is not sticking out. You should be able to see your toes, and you should be able to wiggle your toes. Okay, the goal is to get lower and lower and lower, if possible. However, not at the expense of sticking your rear end out, letting your stomach hang out, or shifting all your weight forward. You want your weight more in your heels on your chair pose. So come on back up. Arms are going to come up to the diagonal, and you gaze straight forward. Here we go. Inhale the chair. Knees are together, big toes are touching. Exhale, forward fold. Feet are soft. Inhale, half, forward fold. And now we go to knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Now from here, you're going to lift your right leg straight back, toe pointing down. Look forward and bring your right foot somewhere behind the right hand. Press your left heel down and make sure that you have a little runway between your feet. Then come on up into Warrior One. Bring your hands down to your hips. Ask yourself, am I squared to the front of my mat in Warrior One? Is my back leg strong and straight? Are all of my toes on my back foot on the ground and the outer edge of my back foot? Is my front knee bent? Is it in line with my ankle and not coming forward? Okay? And the shoulders are square to the front as well. And the arms will be coming up, so that's an inhale. And then we take our knees, chin, and chest. So bring your hands down, knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Now we get to do the other side. Your left leg, straight back. Press that heel back. Look forward, send your left foot up, 5 or 6 inches behind your left hand. Your right heel comes down. Anchor that before you come up. And then rising up into warrior one on this side. Go through your checklist. Okay? So, checklist. My right leg straight. The outer edge of my right foot and all 5 toes on the ground back there. My left knee is not crossing in front of the ankle. My hips are as squared as I can get them, and no, it is not perfect because it's our yoga practice. My shoulders are facing straight forward, my arms are up, and I'm holding this beautiful gold ball in my hand above my head. And then I bring my hands down, bring knees, chin, and chest. Inhaling up dog or cobra, exhaling into downward facing dog. In this down dog, we take a couple of deep breaths before we come out of it. And then, lifting the heels, make your way to the front of your mat. Half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold, knees are soft. What's next? Chair pose. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, so let's put it all together without stopping to really talk about the alignment. Okay, here we go. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Place your hands down, knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Right leg goes straight back. Look forward, step up, your back heel down, rise up, and inhale, warrior one. Hands back down, knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Left leg comes up, step forward, put your right heel down, warrior one on the left side, inhale. And knees, chin, and chest. Gaze at the front edge of your mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Press those heels down. Rotate your triceps down, inner elbow comes up. Then lift the heels, bend your knees, make your way to the front of your mat. Inhale for your half forward fold. Exhale, full fold. Set your bottom low to the ground. Inhale up for chair pose. Shoulders are down, my hands are rotating my little fingers towards each other. And Tadasana. Let's do one more of those. Here we go. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half. Lengthen your spine. And here we go. Knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Right leg, down dog split. Step forward. Rise up for warrior one on an inhale. And exhale, knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Left leg, step through. Back heel down, warrior one. And knees, chin, and chest. Up dog or cobra. downward facing dog. Rotate that triceps down, inner elbow up. Ready? Make your way to the front. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Whoa, chair pose. Caught myself. And Tadasana. I told you I would mess it up sooner or later. All right, so I'm going to talk for a moment, give you a few new things to think about. All right, so if you want to write any of this down, feel free. First thing I'm going to talk about is what vinyasa means. A vinyasa, what it literally means is to put together. Okay, so vinyasa literally from Sanskrit means to put together. Make sure you know that, it might be on a test. In our yoga practice with the poses, it could be any three poses together, honestly. However, most of us in the Western world recognize knees, chin, and chest, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog as the three poses in a vinyasa. Those three poses put together. So if I were to go to a yoga studio where the class was advertised as vinyasa, there's probably going to be a lot of knees, chin, and chest, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog mixed in with other stuff. Not always, but many times. Or if it's labeled vinyasa 2 or 3, there are going to be a lot of those, and it's going to be very challenging. Okay, so make sure that you know knees, chin, and chest, up dog and down dog are in a vinyasa, okay, for our purposes. If you go take that class somewhere outside of our class, you will run across that. The teacher might say, okay, and take a vinyasa, and then you will do those three poses, okay? And they're in a sun salutation, but they can also just be done in the middle of doing something else, okay? Yoga, nice part about yoga is each teacher, one of the nice things, each teacher is a little bit different with their style and also the way they put things together, okay? So we're gonna do that. I might say vinyasa sometimes. That means do knees, chin, and chest, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you an option on knees, chin, and chest. Okay, so I want you to sit down. I'm going to show you what your options are. Okay, and I'm gonna start from all fours. So after you, in any of your sun salutations, because we do a vinyasa in both A and B, you take your inhale, you take your exhale, you take your half forward fold, and then usually knees, chin, and chest. This is your second option. You can keep doing knees, chin, and chest for the rest of the semester, okay? This next option is a little bit harder, all right? So I'm gonna go into my plank first, okay? My gaze is at the front edge of my mat. I'm gonna shift forward on my toes and lower myself down and then come down to the floor, okay? So that is a second option for you besides knees, chin, and chest. You just come down, it's still grasshopper elbows. Your stomach doesn't reach the ground before anything else. Okay, your hips don't reach the ground before anything else, but you do shift forward a little bit to lower down. Your triceps will be very sore if you do a lot of this, okay? But you'll be strong. Okay, it's sort of the reverse part of a push-up. It's the lowering down, and it's an eccentric contraction, which will make you sore. So you're here, you shift forward, then the elbows come in. It's like knees, chin, and chest, only my knees aren't coming down.
Okay, and then into my upward facing dog. If you choose to do upward facing dog. Okay, let's try it. Let's go from downward facing dog. Actually, let's go from all fours. So you're here. All right, and straighten one leg behind. This is if you want to try it. If you don't want to, just do knees, chin, and chest. One leg out, other leg out into a plank, pushing the floor away. Shift forward. My gaze is still at the front of my mat, and lower down. And then set yourself down. Okay, let's do it again. Starting in all fours. Okay. Tuck your toe, tuck one foot, tuck the other foot, go into your plank. Gaze at the front edge of your mat. Shift forward. Grasshopper elbow yourself down on the exhale. Okay? Then you go into your up dog and your downward facing dog. So remember, that is instead of knees, chin, and chest. That's an option for you. Okay? All right, so let's just do a sun salutation A with that in there if you choose to do it. Keeping in mind when we do sun salutation B, we're going to do it several times. Okay? So let's do an A and then we'll do a B. Here we go. Starting at the front edge of your mat, into Tadasana. Exhale to prepare. This is A. Inhale, upward hand salute. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Now, if you're doing the full version, step back to a plank. And here we go, lower down, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and down, downward facing dog. Holding that there. Lift the heels, bend the knees, take your weight to the front of your mat. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise, and exhale, hands to heart center or Tadasana. All right, here we go with sun salutation B. Option, do the full version of knees, chin, and chest, which is actually called Chaturanga Dandasana. Okay, and I'll give you what that means in a minute. Here we go. Inhale the chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Here we go. Step back to your plank. And either knee, chin, and chest, or full version Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Right leg, straight back. Look forward, step up, heel down, rise up, inhale, warrior one, square hips. Bring your hands down, step back to plank, knees, chin, and chest, or Chaturanga. Left leg, and step forward, back heel down, rise up, inhale, square hips. And bring your hands down, a vinyasa. Remember, that's all three of these poses. Take a couple of really nice deep breaths here in your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, take your way to the front of your mat. Inhale, half fold, forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Lower your bottom. Inhale the chair pose. And exhale, Tadasana. All right, so we've learned Vinyasa. We've learned that Chaturanga Dandasana is what you can do instead of in a chest. Now, what Chaturanga Dandasana means is fourth limb staff pose. Write that down. 4 limbs, my arms and my legs. Staff pose. Staff is straight. Okay? 4 limbs staff pose. That is the new thing that I want you to know. The new first pose in a vinyasa. We're not going to call it knees, chin, and chest anymore. We're going to call it four-limb staff pose, or if I say Chaturanga Dandasana, you can still do knees, chin, and chest. But I'm going to call it what it's really called now, okay? And that is an exhale. That is partially how you help to control it when you're lowering down slowly. So if you're not able to lower slowly, keep doing knees, chin, and chest, and you will get stronger, okay? You don't have to do it. Right, you don't have to do the full version of Chaturanga. Okay, so I will have time, I'll leave some time for questions at the end of the recording. So if you have a question, maybe jot it down so you don't forget to ask. Okay, so we're going to be coming back to the front of our mat. I'm going to teach you another pose right now that is not in Sun Salutation A. It's also not in Sun Salutation B. But we do it a lot, and we'll be doing it a lot now, and you've probably seen pictures of it, okay? So we're going to start back at the back of our mat for this one. So back it up, and I want you to put your left foot even with the back of your mat. Left foot pointing towards the side of your mat at the back, okay? Now take your right foot and bisect your left foot. So my right heel is coming in right at the arch of my other foot. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know about Warrior 2, is that it is heel to arch alignment. Okay, now I'm not going to square my hips on this one to the front because my legs aren't made that way, right? My hips are kind of facing a diagonal. My shoulders are going to be facing this side of my mat over here. My shoulders are going to be square to the side. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a great big step forward with your right foot. Straight forward. Now, that knee's going to bend. This back leg, left leg, is not. It's straight. Once again, all 10 toes on both, all 5 toes on both feet, or all 10 toes are down. My right knee is right smack in the middle. It's in the middle of my mat. It's going straight towards my second toe, and it's not crossing in front of the ankle, okay? So you can take it down as far as you like. Someday, I'd like my thigh to be parallel to the ground. It's not there yet, all right? Okay, so this back foot, it can be angled a little bit with the toes coming forward if that makes it more comfortable for you. Or straight, even with the back of my mat, okay? My shoulders are facing the side of my mat. And then my arms come out to a T, okay? My arms are at a T. Now, is that a T? Not really. It's kind of a sad T, all right? Let's get strong arms here. Front arm and back arm. Take a look. If you point your finger out to each end, my right hand is pointing straight forward down the middle. My left hand is pointing straight back down the middle. And now just reach the rest of your fingers out. Your gaze in Warrior 2 is down your right arm straight forward. Okay? Making sure once again, this knee is right in line. That's so. Now, ask yourself, am I doing well as it's doing right now? Right now, I'm leaning towards the front of my mat. Pull yourself back and get your shoulders up and your knees. Okay. Then once again, I said gaze forward. Now, if I want to be this kind of warrior, not so much. I want to be a warrior. Okay? It's not Barbie pose. It's warrior. Warrior 2 pose. So it's strong, it's sturdy. We're not flinching at all. Any Game of Thrones fans out there? Look at those warriors. Okay? Or Spartacus or any of those shows. Okay, this is Warrior 2. Now, I want you to take your front hand and flip it so your palm comes upward. And reverse back, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling, palm facing back, and my left hand comes down my back leg. Still keeping my back leg straight. If at any point you need to rest, go ahead. So my arms are straight up and down, and then I come back to warrior two. So that's called reversing your warrior. Here we go. Flip your front hand and reverse your warrior. And coming back up. Let's do it again. Flip your front hand, reverse your warrior. Your legs starting to get tired? And coming back. Notice I didn't say, well, then let's stop. But if you need to, feel free to take a rest if you need to. From here, the way we come out of it is any way the teacher suggests that's safe, but I'm going to windmill my arms over and down to my mat and step back to downward facing dog. Okay? All right. So now walk your hands back and roll on up. That is not the way we come out of it when we're doing a vinyasa and everything. That's just for learning purposes. Let's do the other side. Your right foot, sorry for my back. Your right foot is parallel to the back of your mat, right in the middle. That will help you to line up your left foot, bisecting your right foot. That's your alignment. Heel to arch. Warrior two, heel to arch. I said it twice because it's on a test. Heel to arch. Okay, from here I'm gonna step straight forward with my left foot. Nice big step. And bend that left knee. Take a look back at your right leg. Is it straight? Are all 5 toes down on the ground? Take a look at your left knee. Is it pointing towards the front center of my mat or the second toe? And is it in line with my ankle? Are my shoulders square to the side of my mat? And then bring your arms up to that T, nice and strong. Reaching long with both arms, especially a lot of times we forget about that back arm. Your gaze, your drishti is down your left arm towards the front, and it is fierce. Now let's reverse our warrior by inhaling, flip your hand, and tilt back. I'm not changing my height. My knee remains bent at the same angle the whole time. Then my arms come back to warrior two. Let's do it again. Flip your front hand, reverse, bring your right hand down, but keep your right leg nice and straight. Use that right hand as a reminder. Keep my leg straight. And back up to warrior two. One more time. Flip your front hand, reverse your warrior. Your drishti comes up at your top fingers, your left hand fingers. And back to warrior. Now, coming out of it, I'm going to windmill my arms down, and I'm going to step back to downward facing dog or whatever pose the instructor suggests that I go to. Okay, let's take our knees down and take a child's pose for a moment, because I know you've been working super hard.
They watch their city change. And children scream, or so it seems, louder than before. Out of doors, into stores with bigger names. Mama,
Come on back up to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward into a half forward fold. Lengthen. Full fold. Knees are soft. And let's rise all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Sit up. All right. Now, let's go over our tree pose. We've done it a couple times. Okay, so I'm going to start on my left foot. My right foot is going to come to either kickstand, inside of my calf with my toes pointing straight down, or up here inside my inner thigh, okay, depending on
where my balance is today. All right. Some days I'm rocking it. Some days not so much. Right. Depending on where you are. Get your drishti. See, my balance is not great today. So I'm going to go for the half level. And if you bring your hands to heart center and press them together, it will help your abdominals to turn on, squeezing the outer edges of your hips towards each other. There's not really going to be a movement there. And your knee is pointing directly to the side. So you should have a nice little triangle between your knee and your other leg. Where should we not put our foot on or touching the other knee? Okay, here we go with the other side. And remember, put your foot in the same position that you did the other side on if you can. Okay, squeezing the outer edges of the hips. Squeeze the leg and the foot against one another evenly. Press your hands together and maintain that nice, straightforward, and still drishti. Knee pointing towards the outside. And bringing that foot down. Just work it out a little bit. And let's go ahead and take it onto the floor. Let's go face down today. Another new pose. Okay, so we're down here. Bring your arms to the outside. So I'm laying down in a T position. If you don't have enough room, you can bend your elbows and do like goalposts with your hands. Okay? We're gonna lift everything up. Lift up your head, neck, shoulders, and your feet. Into your locust. And bring it back down. We're gonna do one more. Ready? And lift up. Lifting my upper and my lower body. Legs are straight, arms are straight if you can, if you have enough room. And lowering back down. Pushing back to a child's pose. And then having a seat, bringing the legs out in front. And let's take our half Lord of the Fishes. Okay, so bending my right knee, placing my foot over to the other side of my left knee, taking my right hand, reaching behind me, my left arm, reaching over the other side of my knee, giving myself a little extra push into the twist. Twists are cleansing, like you're wringing out the washcloth of your body. And slowly release. And shake your legs out a little bit. Let's take our left leg, cross it over. Left arm reaches behind me. My right arm crosses over, pressing against the outer side of my left leg, twisting. And release, shaking those legs out. Make sure you have enough space to lay down. Bring your arms out in front of you and roll down one vertebra at a time, dragging your heels in front of you. And setting yourself up for your final resting pose for your Shavasana. Corpse pose. Starting with a couple of really nice deep breaths. And exhale out in your mouth. And again. Let the muscles in your face relax. Your shoulders get heavy. Your legs are totally relaxed on the floor. Your feet may drop out a little bit. Flex your forehead. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, keeping your eyes closed. Enjoying these last moments here on your mat. Sliding your heels in towards your bottom. And then drawing your knees one at a time into your chest, giving yourself that well-deserved hug. And rolling on over to one side, using your bottom arm for a pillow. Once again, keeping the eyes closed. Stretch your top leg out to the side. Push yourself up to another seated position. Perhaps switch the crossing of your legs if you sat crisscross at the beginning. And then draw your hands either to heart center or place them over your heart, whichever you choose. Always thanking ourselves and thanking yourself for stepping onto your mat today. Giving yourself this gift of yoga. I hope that if you found any balance or strength or courage or peacefulness on your mat, that you're able to bring that with you throughout the rest of your day and into your evening. The light and spirit within me bows to the light and spirit within each one of you. Namaste. All right, yogis.